Welcome back. This is Mark from financialfreedomodyssey.com here with a Q2 review. So halfway through the year of 2025, and it's time to check in on my goals, review the portfolio, and that sort of thing. So let's dive right in. So to start off the year, we set 10 goals, and we talk about them a little bit more in depth in this post here. Looking forward to 2025. I either created that at the end of 2024 or it was maybe the first post of 2025. And yeah, the first goal that we had was to maintain an investing savings rate of 33%, which we are now over that. So we're using contributions divided by gross pay. Still 33%. I think kind of as time goes on and needs change, I'll probably make this of net pay. Obviously, if I'm over 33% of gross pay, I would be much even higher on net pay. But this is currently only reached because it's being propped up by tax returns. So we will see in Q3 and in Q4 what percentage I end up on. And just want to note one more thing is I do try to net positive cash every single month as well, but it's relatively low currently as I'm trying to maximize the tax advantaged accounts. Goal number 2, open a spousal RSP. I believe I did this one in 2020. Sorry, in Q1. You know what? Let's take a look. Did I have that one done in 2021? I did have it done in 2021. Or sorry, Q1 2025. I don't know why I keep saying 2021. All right. Yeah, so that's been open. I continue to contribute to that. I'm still contributing both to mine and my partner's RSP. I think as time goes on, I will lean heavily towards just contributing to my partner's RSP. Just because long term that makes most sense mathematically. I don't want to dive into it too much, but I have read you can income split out of your RSP after 65. My partner is younger than me, and we plan on retiring earlier than that. So it just makes sense to have somewhat equal, like, maybe not entirely equal, but somewhat equal RSPs so we can pull same amount of money or similar amounts of money out of each one and not have, say, me with a higher RSP paying into a higher tax bracket. 50 blog posts, tracking pretty well on that one. So one a week, gave myself the ability to miss 2 weeks. We are now past the halfway mark and I have not missed a single week. Sometimes I forget to upload on Monday morning. Usually I write these a bit in advance. But yeah, I generally get it out by Tuesday, like today. I forgot to publish yesterday's. Looking at long form videos, I tracking pretty well for that. So I wanted to do 25, so essentially half of the blog posts. Works out to be about 2 a month, sitting at 14 to 25. So a little bit over half, but I'm also a little bit over halfway. So I should hit it if I continue my current pace. Will say I have had a little bit less passion for recording aside for these check-in videos of late. Hopefully that'll turn around. 50 short videos, no change here over Q1. I have not made a single short video still. Now the negotiation. So I had the insurance, which we went through. Did the best we could here. We stuck with our current broker. But yeah, rates are just up crazy year over year. But we did a few changes and got it as low as we could. That was still reasonable, so we'd still be covered. Mortgage renewal, similar story to last year. I hunted around, got a price match and got a beat on a price match. Stayed with the current broker, so pretty happy with that. And we did end up signing on for 5-year fix, so that's one less thing to worry about for the next few years. In terms of workouts, so tracking a little bit light. I only have 61 recorded sessions. Some of them are kind of the shorter walking sessions. But what I did do recently is I signed up for a 1-year subscription on the Better Me app, and yeah, looking forward to doing some of the workouts on there, and step tracking, water tracking, and all that sort of stuff. It does food tracking, which I'm using a little bit here and there just for fun. I generally still have a good metabolism, don't have to worry about it, but it can be fun. Make improvements to the blog, still no change there. At summertime, it's our busy time of year, especially these next few weeks, so maybe you'll look at it in August or in the fall. And last one is these quarterly check-ins. So this is the second one, so right on track for that. So looking at our overall stats here, 2 with little to no progress, 4 with solid progress, and 4 complete. Okay, yeah, that looks correct to me. Looking at portfolio performance, so I'm just going to note here that I missed a deposit on my Q1 review, so I ended up being worse than the S&P 500, not better. So halfway through the year, after, and following that dip in April, which luckily I invested whatever I could, generally just keep investing similar amounts, but I did do a few sells and a few reallocations and that sort of thing, which I think has helped out quite a bit. So value-wise, my portfolio is currently up 14.12%. Okay, I'm back. Turns out the percentage was right, but it was just up 11.36%, not down 11.36%. So by comparison, the NASDAQ is up 8.62%, the S&P 500 is up 6.67%, and the TSX is up 7.64%. Same as last time, call it. I have a good portion of my portfolio is in USD between SCHD and VTI. Since I convert from USD to CAD, there can be a change there. Calling this out like January 1st, or I think on January 1st, this was the conversion rate, which is absolutely atrocious for Canadian dollars, and we've come a long way. And this is what it was at time of writing. So looking at the full year, so you can see with deposits, I was down 1.7, so drastically better there. Much better here too. And NASDAQ is doing significantly better. S&P 500, like everything's up, basically. So yeah, goal-wise, we made great progress. Not worried about hitting all 10 by the end of the year. Short videos and the updates and improvements to the website here is probably the 2 that are most at risk. Portfolio-wise, I'm now doing better than the S&P 500, which is the main goal. Some of my kind of, let's say, moonshots or riskier single stocks are doing quite well. TD is one like absolute rocket ship. AMD I'm up very well on. Shopify has recovered from its lows of April. Google hasn't really done much, but it's up about similar to the S&P 500. So yeah, those bets have turned out to do well, and I do have some TSX, so we have a bunch of exposure on the Toronto Stock Exchange, which is still higher than the S&P 500, so looking good. I'll post this blog post around the same time this video goes live, and you can support me by subscribing to my channel, or if you want to use my Wealthsimple referral link, there is a link on both the blog posts, which will be linked below, as well as a link below in the description. Thank you. Cheers.